So there's been a little fan discussion regarding one particular character and one line from the Ahsoka series. And I know what you're saying, Justin, I can't believe Star Wars fans would hyperfixate on one line, but here we are. In episode 1 of Ahsoka, when Hera and Ahsoka are meeting, they're discussing the purpose of the star map, and Ahsoka says it holds the location of the last missing Grand Admiral, Grand Admiral Thrawn. The debate online is the fact that, well, Thrawn isn't the last Grand Admiral. Notably, we have Grand Admiral Rae Sloane, a character first introduced in the Aftermath trilogy, and I've talked about her many times on the channel before. I actually covered her, I believe, when The Mandalorian came out. We're going to sort of retread a bit of old ground, but also cover some new content as well here. In the year before the Battle of Jakku, Rae Sloane was arguably one of the individuals closest to being the actual Emperor. She had vast control of the Imperial military, although she was being covertly controlled by Gallius Rax, who was essentially the second Emperor. I actually did a video all on him and how he's been totally forgotten by Star Wars. But unlike most Imperials, Rax actually survives the Battle of Jakku. She leaves in Palpatine's Super Star Destroyer, the Eclipse, and she heads off to the unknown regions to begin to start the First Order. And she may even be the very first Supreme Commander of the First Order as well. Other individuals on that trip with her, including Brendol Hux, have made reappearances in canon, but Sloane has been somewhat quiet, so I understand why fans are a bit peeved that once again she was seemingly ignored. The thing is, Grand Admiral Sloane is in a very weird position. First of all, let's talk about the way her story ends in Aftermath. Rae Sloane is a somewhat complex character. She's an Imperial, but she doesn't fully get behind the Empire's self-destructive policies during Operation Cinder, and that actually comes to a head at the Battle of Jakku. Palpatine has set up a mechanism within one of his observatories to destroy the entire planet. Rae Sloane travels to the observatory. She kills Gallius Rax, who, as mentioned, was essentially the new Emperor, then runs into Nora Wexley, who is the New Republic antagonist of the Aftermath trilogy. And this is important because this is the last contact that anyone had in the New Republic with Grand Admiral Sloane. Sloane reveals to Nora that she's looking to stop the destructive process which threatens to doom the planet. You should let me go, just in case. You should go, she says. I don't know where, Nora says. Find your son, go home, have a life. Easier said than done. Easier for you than it will be for me. I had none of those things. I never had a husband or a wife to die in my hands. I never had a child. I had only the Empire. And now? Nora doesn't need her to say any more. I'm sad for you, Nora says, and she's surprised that she means it. I am too. Are you going to kill me? They talk, she says no, and it ends with Nora allowing Sloane to live, going off on her own way, with the final dialogue between the two being Sloane giving her a small nod and saying good luck, Nora Wexley, and Nora saying let's hope Brenton is right and you aren't as bad as I think. Good luck, Grand Admiral Sloane. We learn later that Sloane did manage to stop the destructive process on Jakku, which would have wiped out the Empire and the New Republic forces there, and that afterward, Sloane even considered joining the New Republic. Instead, she leaves with the Empire, but the important thing is, the New Republic wouldn't think that. There's no evidence, for one, that she even survived the Battle of Jakku. There was tremendous destruction. She was off on a very perilous adventure, and it would be more surprising, honestly, for her to survive and get off planet than the opposite. That would have been testimony directly from Nora Wexley, who surely would have been asked by New Republic intelligence about, hey, did you see any Grand Admirals who were gallivanting around with your husband? She would answer, and I think she would honestly state that if Grand Admiral Sloane had survived, that she didn't seem eager to rejoin the Empire. That, combined with the fact that Grand Admiral Sloane has been sort of on the download totally, she hasn't made her presence known to the galaxy at all, I think justifies what Ahsoka is saying here. This isn't Sloane erasure. She's in a different role right now. I also think that Grand Admiral Sloane just doesn't have the same sort of threat that other Grand Admirals have. And I don't mean that as any disrespect to the character, but her elevation to Grand Admiral by Gallius Rax was really a distraction more than anything else. She doesn't, or at least she hasn't, shown the tactical abilities, the strategic mind, the general propensity for naval combat that other Grand Admirals have, especially Grand Admiral Thrawn. There are a lot of people in both canon and legends who declared themselves many different things. Grand Admiral, Grand Moff, completely new ranks. They just don't carry the same weight as ranks bestowed during the actual reign of the Empire. Now again, that's no disrespect to Rae Sloane, because as we see, she certainly has some major leadership abilities, and it's assumed that she played a major role in the reorganization of the Imperial Remnant into the First Order. I think that's probably also where the distinction is right now. From Mando Season 3, it seems like there is still an active Imperial Remnant, something that I personally didn't really think existed. It's not just Gideon and other small forces, but it seems like Pelion, Thrawn perhaps, but also Brendel Hux are still taking an active interest in the goings-on in the galaxy. I'm guessing they probably spotted a potential weak spot in the New Republic that they want to take advantage of, whereas Sloane is off doing something completely different. The First Order is related to the Empire, but it's an evolution. It's secretive, and it's still like 20 years away from fully revealing itself. Who are the other Grand Admirals, you might be wondering, in Star Wars canon? Well, aside from Grand Admiral Savit, I don't think we know any others. As with Star Wars Legends, including Thrawn during the time of the Empire, there were 12. So presumably the New Republic's killed 11 of them, plus perhaps others. But I could be wrong. There could be other Grand Admirals that I'm not aware of. But I quickly checked through the Aftermath trilogy. I didn't find anything, although they do call Akbar New Republic Grand Admiral Akbar, which is very funny. And I've never seen any other source use that title for New Republic military leaders. Usually Akbar is given the title either Supreme Commander or Fleet Admiral. Interestingly, those novels also seem to think that there's only one Grand Admiral as well, even for the Empire, but that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this book. Until next time, be safe, have a good one. I'll see you soon. Also, I am going to be away for the Ahsoka episode premiere, episode 3, so my coverage probably won't start until Thursday.